All right, so we're back in Breath of the Wild today. I know I talked to you guys a little bit before the weekend about what we could do, and it kind of seemed right. It kind of just felt right to start Breath of the Wild now, with Tears of the Kingdom coming out in a couple months. This is just going to be normal playthrough. I'm not going to 100% it. I've never 100%ed the game. I've done all the shrines, but that's about it, and all the side quests. But we're just going to go through it again. Just the main dungeons, probably Master Sword, and then we'll call it. But I have a lot to talk about with Breath of the Wild. Obviously, it's been out for a while. I think it's almost 6 years old now. And it still holds up. Like, it held up from launch even to now.
Take it.
Sorry
Help guide you after your long slumber.
I'm saying so much. But like this, you can just tell. You can tell by playing it. It's just a good one. So we're just gonna pick up the usual stuff. I am playing on normal mode. I don't think I could do master mode. I mean, I could totally do master mode, but master mode definitely is for people who are maybe a little more familiar with Breath of the Wild, or have it at least a little more fresh.
Up to the pedestal. That will show you the way.
We're getting to the title drop soon, so I'm not gonna talk too much.
Link, you are the light. Our light. That must shine upon Hyrule once again. Now go.
Yeah, so obviously, this was a launch title for the Nintendo Switch. And I remember me and a friend, we were so excited. We actually had planned, like, we booked the weekend off from work. I packed up my TV, Switch, and everything. Like I said, just picked up the Switch that morning. And yeah, we just went over to his place and we just played Breath of the Wild all weekend. I was a little bit further than him. I would say in the Great Plateau, but like after the Great Plateau, like you can literally do anything. So I was the one who wanted to go right to Hyrule Castle. So I beelined it. They're like, yeah, you can do it if you want. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. And they do kind of gate you out from doing that. Obviously, if you're playing Breath of the Wild, like, within hours of it being released, you're probably not gonna have the skills to get through. You know, just the blockade of Guardians. With 3 hearts. He went off and just kind of explored. He managed to find the Lost Woods on his own. So I learned from him where it was. And that you needed, you know, X amount of hearts to pull out the Master Sword. I believe it's 13. So that's our health goal at least.
Link. Head for the point marked on the map in your Sheikah slate.
Yeah, just a great time. We had talked about doing that for Breath of the Wild 2. But our lives have kind of changed. We still, like, know each other. But getting together is a little more complicated. So it might not happen. You know, at least we had that time with the original. I say original, but, you know, the first one. And I kind of got to get these points going a little bit longer. I can't just shotgun. Because I do want to highlight this for YouTube. And I'm probably not going to be able to get out of the Great Plateau by the time I finish talking about everything. But luckily, Breath of the Wild is kind of like a cornerstone of things to talk about. Not only with Zelda, but with like the Nintendo Switch. I'm playing with like Elden Ring controls. I mean, really, this game kind of stood out on its own until, like, Elden Ring came out. Like, Elden Ring was the next, like, step from Breath of the Wild. Oh, we'll do everyone's favorite little trick and push the boulder. Alright, just give me the bow tutorial. We'll get to the tower and then I will bring up my next point. That's the jump you want to do. I mean, you've seen it a million times. I've seen it a million times. I'm not going to be watching all these cutscenes. Just going to quickly mark these because I always forget where they're specifically located. At least the two, like, on the mountain. Yeah, I just kind of talked about how this game is really it's just stood up. And it kind of set the bar so incredibly high for the Nintendo Switch. Because, yeah, it doesn't run the best in certain areas. Certain areas, you know, definitely cause a bit of, you know, frame drops. The opening area has a little bit of it here in the Great Plateau. And I think the biggest area is the Hidden Forest. But on launch day, you know, we were mostly okay with it. They've tried to fix it a little bit with some patching. But little did we know that would be a problem that would plague the Nintendo Switch. From that day up until still now. And it's kind of gotten worse. Not worse. But it's very clear when they were making this game, they knew how they wanted it put together. They had a lot of help from Monolith, I believe, who have made Xenoblade. And I mean, those guys are nuts. Like, they fit Xenoblade 1 on the Wii. So it's clearly, if they want something done, they can do it. So it's a very good choice for Nintendo to want them involved. But apparently they are like the only people who know how to use the Switch. Or at least know how to use the Switch hardware to run what it needs to run. Or to squeeze like every last drop of juice that this thing can put out. I'm not saying like every past release of Switch games, you know, they're bad or they run bad, but obviously there's always compromises. But you know, when the big guy comes out, i.e. Pokemon, like Pokemon just has not run well since coming to the Switch. I mean, it was not running great on 3DS, but again, it's 3DS. It was the move over, and it was kind of okay at the time. So it does concern me a little bit about Tears of the Kingdom. I think a lot of us were hoping for at least a Switch Pro by now, but you know, based on rumors or whatever we got, we didn't get it. Regardless, we didn't get one. And again, even regardless of hardware, I don't know if that would fix certain issues with other games. But I think it would be nice to just run like Breath of the Wild without, you know, having really bad frame drops. When it gets real grassy or gets real busy. I can't. Okay, I can. So hopefully Monolith and Nintendo can, you know, work their magic again. Maybe they're a little bit more familiar with the hardware now and can adjust the game to sort of work better for it. All right, well, that's one shrine down. This place isn't, you know, obviously the most difficult. This is all tutorial. And I know we're going to get a little bit of a chat from the old man. I always think it's Bombs here. I don't know why, but Bombs is the other one on the other side.
Oh.
Oops. It's up on the D-pad. It's been a while. I will have to get familiar with the controls again. I was just about to say something too, and I can't remember. I'm sure I'll remember. It was definitely something I wanted to talk about. Oh, I remember. Yeah, it was just about the Great Plateau. I kind of feel like the Great Plateau, where like you start, is kind of the most fun area in Breath of the Wild. I mean, it's a little obvious that it's front loaded specifically more as a tutorial to get you more familiar with the tools the game is going to just flat out give you. You know, it's also kind of the only time when you go around and you're, you know, picking up your Zelda sort of equipment. Not in like the same sense as like getting the hook shot, you know, getting the boomerang. But it's essentially those tools. You're just getting them all at once. But I like that part of Zelda. So this part I kind of, you know, enjoy a lot. Not to say like I don't enjoy the rest of the game. But with like the open world, it's more about, you know, the freedom. You can go anywhere, do anything at any point in time. Even though the game kind of veers you in a certain direction. I should get bombs. I should just go around. I think I need at least some hot peppers. Or the little free sweater you get. To go any further, really, that way. We'll leave it. We'll go the other way. Actually, I don't even think we can. I think I'd have to, like, zigzag, like, crisscross around. I do kind of hope that Tears of the Kingdom does kind of add, not like gating to, like, kind of remove the freedom, but maybe more so, like, maybe you're collecting a resource that you can kind of spend to go to specific areas. You know, at your choosing, but you can't, like, go to all of them all at the same time. Because I don't think they would want to remove that sense of, like, freedom. Just to go back to a more kind of traditional Zelda format of, you need this to go here, this to go here. So on and so forth until you beat Ganondorf. With, like, very, like, limiting, like, branching paths that you can kind of do. But, you know, it's a little... What's the word I'm trying to use? I don't want to say disappointed, but... you know, temples don't feel as good when, you know, you just kind of already have the tools to beat them. They all kind of feel the same just because they are kind of all structured to be potentially your first dungeon. And really the only thing that scale are the enemies. Either based on like time played or distance traveled or how many enemies you've beaten. I don't know. I just know what happens. They just get more difficult. And I mean, I'm not a game designer, so I can't say like, oh, well, I think this is better. But I think really the one thing that most people kind of agree on is that the temples are kind of not the greatest in Zelda. I mean, they're not bad, but they're all pretty short. They all have the help the tribe with the machine, and then you go in and you do the rest. You know, I wouldn't mind like, hey, if you do this temple, you get, well, it's obviously where there's going to be vehicles in the next one. Maybe you get the, you know, the submarine part. You can now go underwater. And again, that does kind of like progress you in a certain way. Even like if they just had like dungeon specific mechanics. So like not necessarily like anything that factors into the open world. I think that would be okay. And you could say like, oh, well, they already kind of do that in this one, but it's not enough. Like, oh, you tilt the ship, you move the trunk, you move the leg. I think that's not really enough to move the series forward, I think. Everything else is just really good. And I guess the shrines are also kind of to like subsidize some of the dungeoning sort of across the world. But I think we just need just better environments. And just the dungeons to really kind of influence a little bit more. And like having like a Ganon be like the last boss of like every dungeon. Like, you know, I'm hoping for some monsters. Let me grab my Club Nintendo shirt. Was there only... Weren't there only 2 heads? Whatever. Yeah, more iconic bosses. And I would like more dungeons. Majora's Mask had 4. But like getting to the 4 was really like, you know, you had to work for it. And I don't know about like bringing back like traditional bombs. I think having them like be kind of infinite is fine. I actually don't mind the weapon degradation either. I think that's kind of fun. It does kind of make you save your good stuff. But I think like at a certain point you just use whatever. Like, I'm probably not gonna, like, be too concerned with holding my strongest sword for the boss. Obviously, on normal mode, on Master, it's a little more. You probably want to hold on to that stuff because they regenerate. No, I know about the hot peppers. Oh, hey, man. Alright, I guess you have to meet him specifically in the snow area. Get the shirt. Yeah, they really don't need to do much to just kind of level up Breath of the Wild. There's already so much here that just works and is just almost endlessly replayable. I mean, I've played through this game at least not 100%. I've done all the shrines, normal and master mode with the DLC dungeon and the little master sword kind of trial. But I've never gotten all the Korok seeds, and I don't think I ever will get all the Korok seeds. And I'm mostly okay with that. I think the most I got was about 300-ish Korok seeds. And there's either it's 700 or over 700. But I'm honestly kind of okay with never getting them all. Because that means there's like 400-ish like things I've never seen before in Breath of the Wild. So, like, obviously I'm picking it up now, and I might find some. I know where a handful are here. I probably have missed some already on my multiple playthroughs. I think if you also bring a torch, I think that also increases your heat. But we're just gonna cook. You know how I said we're gonna cook? I need to light the little fire. I don't know if Nintendo would try to implement any more, like, element stuff. I think if they maybe just refine what they have here a little more, I think that would be good enough. Because some things just kind of work a little wonky. Or maybe they didn't push it too far enough. Like, you know, obviously the desert's the hot area. The snow area is the cold area. But, you know, the weather never really changes across the world. That's really the only places where you're going to be using that stuff. So I think maybe weather dynamically changing across the world. And maybe, like, more neutral areas like Hyrule Fields. Or maybe, like, having it be a little more diverse, and you know, the water zone can get cold or it can snow, and just cut down the rain. Like, just cut down on rain. Yes, you can build shelter and just kind of skip past the rain, which I don't think a lot of players did early on. I think a lot of us just wanted to just power through the rain and just, like, eat, like, 45 meals with stamina regen. Well, I guess I could go this way. Or maybe I can't. Maybe I can. Definitely stuff like this is really good. Where if you have certain items, you can kind of use the environment. And definitely this is like, you know, this is Nintendo doing what they do best. So why not? I think a lot of people probably go around, or they do the little magnet bridge down there. Let's do the boat. Let's do the boat. I mean, they give us a leaf. I mean, you can easily fall off and lose all your health. You know what? Let's not do that. Yeah, I really can't think of, like, anything more, like, dynamic they could do. I think maybe if it's raining, like if an enemy is wet, lightning maybe affects them. I think that does that already, but I can't remember. Like, if they're wet and you hit them with ice, like, it doesn't matter that you, like, always freeze them. But just a touch more, I think, would really make it great. And I guess we're going to... I think it's stasis over here. I should have cooked up some speed as well. But I don't think I had any rush rooms. I can't remember if they stack, if you eat like multiple things, if they stack, or if it has to be on this, like, all on the food that you're eating. Not a big deal right now. If ever. I think in master mode, you definitely want to be buffed up. For now, we'll deal. Very bright. This game, honestly, I don't remember it being so bright. Maybe it's Aurora Borealis. Oh yeah, if we go up here, this is where you get the little sweater. I got it, man. Okay, our Club Nintendo shirt's gonna go. Man, I just going back through this game and thinking about, you know, the opening and the rest of the game. It's really hard to say, like, oh, this is my favorite Zelda. I mean, it's just so good, but it's so different. I almost want to put it in its, like, own little bracket and be like, well, it's Breath of the Wild. It's not comparable. Because, like, everything except for the first Zelda is so structured. Oh, when I think about my favorites, it's very... I don't think I have, like, crazy out there opinions. Except for maybe one. But, like, I really like Wind Waker. Obviously, Ocarina of Time is up there. And I really like Skyward Sword. I know that's not the one that I'm talking about, but that might also be, like, another hot take. But I didn't have any problems with the motion controls. Obviously, the constant interruptions was not great. Skyward Sword just is like the most, I think, like dense in terms of like puzzles and like just doing stuff. Like before you go to the temple, you have like the little area you're in. You know, there's typically stuff to do there, and then you get to do the temple. And I just like that. I just like, you know, the puzzles. The opinion that I think is a little divisive is that I don't really like Majora's Mask. And it's not that like the game, I think the game is bad, or like, oh, I don't like the 3-day mechanic. I don't like this. I don't like that. I just think in like replaying it, it doesn't, it's got too many hurdles to jump through to replay. And not like hurdles in the sense that like it's annoying. Well, maybe a little bit. Maybe that's what I'm trying to get at. Like if you boot up Ocarina of Time, you know where... Oh, I didn't recharge it. Nice. If you boot up Ocarina of Time, you know how it starts. You know where things are. You know when you're going to get this. You know where you're going to get that. So like if you boot up Ocarina of Time, you know you're looking to play Ocarina of Time. Now I think like aesthetically and like mechanically, I think Majora's Mask is definitely the most unique Zelda out there in terms of like stuff with maybe like structure, like in comparison. I need to pick this up or it'll never have a star on the map. And like it's weird because I think Majora's Mask and Skyward Sword like are eerily similar. In the sense that like in Skyward Sword you go to an area, you do a bunch of stuff, and then you can do the temple. Majora's Mask is almost the same. You have to do a bunch of stuff in your 3-day cycle, and then you get access to the temple. And then you do that. I think it's just basically the restarting. And not like the restart from scratch, but just like you kind of have to cycle through the days. Like kind of forcefully making you do this is maybe the reason I don't really like to replay it. Because to make the comparison again, like Skyward Sword, you just do it and then you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. Majora's Mask, you kind of have to stop and go. And like figuring it out the first time is the best time. So maybe in 20 years when I forget how to play Majora's Mask, I'll enjoy it again. But I played the original on N64. I own it on N64. I don't even own Ocarina of Time on N64. But I have Majora's Mask. But I didn't replay Majora's Mask until the remake. And then I replayed it again. And I'm like, yep. Majora's Mask. Yeah, it's a little, I'm a little conflicted with Majora's Mask, but I don't, like, I'm not going to knock people who say it's their favorite, because it's definitely a standout. And, like, I don't think anything's been, like, aesthetically as good as Majora's Mask. Like, it just... It just has that setting that is really good. And I wish they would go back to it. What the heck is going on? But I'm probably more likely to replay something like Majora's Mask before I play something like Twilight Princess, which just feels so on rails. You just kind of go through the motions. And you could say Ocarina of Time is like that, but Ocarina of Time is not as long of a game as Twilight Princess. And I just like the temples. Like where like some of the temples in Ocarina of Time I think require a bit of thought, a bit of braining. Twilight Princess, I feel just like pushes you so hard, like here's where you go. Here's the puzzle, here's how you solve it. You go over and around and then you're back here and then you're done. I mean, these might be some hot takes. I don't know what, like, a lot of people think about these Zeldas. I mean, I know what most people think about Majora's Mask, but that's my personal preference that I don't want to replay it. I would much rather just boot up Ocarina of Time, play through the first 3 dungeons in the first couple hours, get to Adult Link, and then kind of just roam around until I beat the game. I haven't talked much about Wind Waker. Wind Waker's kind of just... Again, it's a little more streamlined in where you're supposed to go first. There's a little... Like, you can maybe do this dungeon before that dungeon, but that does not happen too often. And I think that's closer to the end. I mean, Ocarina of Time, I think, does that as well. You can kind of shimmy around the spirit in the Shadow Temple. But there's that sense of, like, openness with Wind Waker. Touch too early. Touch too late. And I remember I used to have those timings down. Okay, what are we getting rid of? Probably this. After this one, I'm gonna take a quick break. And well, I guess we'll just do the rest. We'll see how much we can get. I think we'll get to at least Kakariko Village. But we're probably not gonna get to Zoro's Domain. Alright, I'm back. I told you it was only gonna be a minute. What was I talking about? I was talking about Wind Waker. Yeah, you know, for being one of my favorite, I never got the re-release on Wii U. I think it's because at that point I was just done with Wii U. I think they did it for Twilight Princess as well. But, like I said, that's one I'm not really looking to go back and replay. And don't even get me started on Zelda 2. That's just not happening. It's not that Zelda 2 is a bad game, but it's just the life system. Actually, that's probably a Korok in there. I don't think I've ever gotten that. Which is arrow button? This one? No, that's not. What am I thinking? This is like Ocarina of Time. I think I need to. Oh, I don't think I have any flint, but I think I can still. I think I can. Hey, Dizzy. Yeah, it's weird that they haven't re-released, like like the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess re-release. Okay. I need maybe this. I think that's a new Korok for real. I don't think I've ever gotten that one. But we'll see, like, after Tears of the Kingdom, obviously it's going to be some time in the next big Zelda release. I think this is actually, like, it's pretty close. Like, besides, like, Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker. Not Wind Waker. Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Like, I think this is the closest we've had a Zelda game. I don't know the distance between Majora's Mask and Wind Waker. But I know after, like, Wind Waker, like, Twilight Princess was a ways off. That came out, like, when the Wii came out. So maybe not. Yeah, I think it's we're maybe in that realm of time. But Skyward Sword definitely was a wait. Or maybe I'm thinking it's... I don't know. I'm just going to not talk about it. I just want to say there was, like, at one point, a 10-year gap between Zelda game. And I want to say it was because of Skyward Sword. But I could be wrong. It could have just been 5 years and maybe I'm mixing up. Like, oh, it's been 10 years since Wind Waker came out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been 10 years since the last Zelda game was... But I completely just forgot that one even existed. And then obviously, like, Skyward Sword to Breath of the Wild. That might be where I'm thinking the gap exists. Yeah, we'll probably get some re-releases after Tears. We'll get something. I don't know what. I think it would be a smart idea to re-release that on Switch, but I don't know, like Switch does not have much life left in it. Like, it seems like Nintendo's trying to get their last bit of game out. Tears of the Kingdom, Pikmin 4. You know, start wrapping up Pokemon. So you might have to wait until Switch 2. We might all have to wait until Switch 2 to get something. Which I think they'll do. I don't think they'll swap from what they have. It's gotta happen. The Switch is just showing its age way too much. It'll be the Super Nintendo Switch. And it'll have like a Super Nintendo color scheme. Bro, can I not remember the controls correctly? We're gonna get something. Like, they're not gonna just not keep the Nintendo Switch and leave it there forever. Like, eventually we'll get something. And I like the ability to, like, have my games with me, bring them around. Again, just to go back to the day the Switch came out. I remember when we were playing Breath of the Wild with my friend, like when we had booked off the whole weekend. We went and ordered pizza, and we're like, well, you know what? Instead of ordering delivery, why not just go there, save ourselves a few doubloons, and just play Breath of the Wild at the pizzeria. That's what we did. And we were the only two Chads in there with the Switch. And, like, obviously the Steam Deck is, like, a direct competitor to the Switch. So it is something people want. I think there just needs to be a happy medium. Which I would hope comes from Nintendo. Not saying that Valve is, like, a problem or anything, but, you know, that obviously you don't have your Nintendo games on there, even though they do, you know, incentivize doing other things with your Steam Deck that may or may not be legal. You know, I'm the kind of guy who would like to support, like, the official release. So if we can just get, like, a medium between, like, the Switch and the Steam Deck, and, like, I'm not asking for, like, 4K 60 FPS. I'm not looking for, like, 144p at 120 like, refresh rate or whatever. Like, I would be happy with, like, 1080p 60 FPS docked and handheld, or maybe even, like, 720p undocked. Like, not even anything crazy. Like, I think people just want the games to run okay. And I think that's what the Steam Deck can do, which is why it's kind of, you know, taken off. The only reason I'm kind of wary of it is... Oh my gosh. Valve likes to drop support on their products. And I'm not saying they'll do that with the Steam Deck. Since I think it's done well. But, you know, what if they do, like, another Steam Deck? Like, are they going to support the first one still? Or, you know, what if it just, they like, yeah, it was a fun thing, but, you know, we kind of have to stop it. And even, like, something like the Vita was, like, a proto-Switch. It just didn't get any support and died before it even started. Because a lot of the stuff the Switch does, the Vita did. Except for, like, maybe play on TV, but they were mostly, like, using, like, the PS4 streaming. Yeah, the Vita. So it was, like, almost there. Sony just, like, flubbed it from, like... From launch until the thing died, which was maybe, like, only a year or two after launch. You know, it could have been... You know, we could have been playing the Sony Switch. right now. But I don't know if like Sony got greedy or like, you know, they tried to put like way too much into it because it did have a lot. The thing was also really expensive and arguably not worth the price. And again, it's not to say like the games are bad on it. Like it had really, really, really great games that were mostly exclusive, and some still are exclusive to the Vita. But, you know, when you have to make the Vita TV and essentially just be like, this is the Vita, but like you can play it on your TV and it's cheaper. Like, honestly, the Vita TV is probably the thing you'd want to get. I would actually look into getting a Vita TV. And that obviously makes it, like, streamable, I think. I don't know if it has that HDMI, like, prevention thing that the PS3 had. I would think not, because I think that was removed during the PS4. You just have to, like enable it or disable the setting. And that was the time. It was the time of the PS4. Or just re-release the games. Just re-release like Muramasa and Soul Sacrifice or whatever the heck that game is called. I have my shelf covered up. I would look at the game cartridge and say what it is. Like, you can get Gravity Rush. You can get Dragon's Crown. All on, like, other PlayStation stuff. Odin Sphere is moved. I don't know if I want to fight him just yet. We'll come back. Or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know how much I'm going to do in this game. Besides, like, the 4 temples, Master Sword, and beat it. I don't even think you get anything. You just get, like, resource. So he's arguably not even worth doing. Nothing. I was gonna jump, but I forgot. We are picking up our paraglider right now. Yeah, I think Nintendo has a winner. I don't think they need to do anything crazy. The Switch already has motion controls. You know, we don't need 2 screens again. Clearly, Nintendo knows we don't need 2 screens. But just upgrade the hardware and honestly keep backwards compatibility. That would honestly 100% sell me on the Switch too. Just, hey, it's basically the Switch. We're not gonna release any games on the old Switch. They're backwards compatible. And this will just play the new stuff and run it well, and you can run the old games better now too. Like literally like, you know what PlayStation did with like PS5 or PS4 What was it? I think it was like PS4. Oh no, it was like the PS4 Pro. Like stuff like that. Like essentially, like that's why I think the term Switch Pro literally exists. Because PlayStation did it. And just like put a patch out, and like even you don't even have to put the patch out for the Nintendo Switch. Just put the patch out for the games on the new Switch, so that just runs with the new hardware. Am I asking a lot? Maybe, but I think it would be worth it, because you wouldn't lose like any of your install base. Well, you would, but you know, buying a system that can play your old games is a little more incentivizing than them being trapped on a device that could barely run them in the first place. I didn't even have anything equipped. I don't think they'll ever go the DS route with the Switch. Aside from like the alternate models, yes. But I don't think they will ever, ever, ever go back to 2 screens. The Wii U was such a failure. They will never do that again. Like they know like you don't need a crazy gimmick. Like here's the gimmick. You can literally play your games on your TV or just bring it with you. Like, wow. That's great. Like that was it. Like and it has motion controls, and you can, you know, take the controller off and use them if you want. Now if we can get controllers that don't drift after X amount of use, we'll be cooking with gas. I still need to call Nintendo and be like, hey, I have Joy-Con drift and Pro Controller drift. Help? No, I wanted... Okay, no. I need stamina. Or strength, or stam. Leather belt. Level 18. I was kind of lucky. I had already bought Joy-Cons. So I had barely used the default ones it came with. I bought the neon yellow arms ones when that came out. And those drift. And I really like those. I really want to like get those controllers fixed. And I mean, I just really liked arms. I wish we get arms too. Like, I don't think it's gonna happen. But they put so much. I mean, aside from like, it's basically just a tech demo for the Switch. But like, there's like the character design and the art and just like the music. Like, if they just need to actually like have like Namco Bandai, like, you know, do their magic and be like, make it a real fighting game and not just a big party game masked as a fighting game.
Well done there, young one.
You know, Arms 2 could actually go off. It'd be better than Smash Bros. I'm tired of Smash Bros.
That princess was my own daughter.
Yeah, I wish I knew how to fix Joy-Con drift, but you need like, I think you need like the Japanese specific screwdrivers, because I have some smaller like size 0 ones, but they just don't work. And Nintendo replaces them for free, and I'm not out of a controller or anything. But I do need to call them. The Joy-Con, I'm pretty sure they'll do for free, but my Pro Controller, I'm probably gonna have to pay for. Also, make it so the dock does not scratch the screen next time. Or include a screen protector by default for every unit, because... like, oh, it doesn't do that. It does. It does scratch the screen. So I actually sent in my Switch a couple times. One was because of like the screen scratching. I'm like, hey, I just bought this and like the screen's already scratched on the side. So then they refurbished it or whatever. Sent it back. And then it was good for a while. And then like a month later, like the screen, like the video, like in handheld, it would just get like really like, it was like really wobbly and warped in an area. I had to send it in again. I'm like, hey, the screen is like not looking right in handheld. They're like, okay. And at that time, like I had already played through Breath of the Wild. I wasn't like, you know, dying to play these video games. It was like ARMS was the newest game at the time. And like I think even it was a month old at that time. So I think I sent it in right before Splatoon 2 came out. And then got it back, and then it was fine. And that's the one I'm using right now. And they've not really had a good incentive to buy another Switch. The OLED is not enough. There's sort of this stuff going around about the OLED and all that stuff. You know, needing to comp for either making a Switch Pro or going for Switch OLED, and, you know, chip shortage and all that, making other stuff more possible or more affordable, you know, kind of being a factor. Makes a little more sense now. But I mean, they could have just done like nothing. And I don't think anyone would have cared. Because the OLED is not, it's not for current Switch owners. It's for mostly people who play in handheld. And then they even had like the Switch Lite. So it was basically for people who didn't own a Switch to buy a Switch. And I was not gonna be buying one. That was right when Dread came out too. Dread, yes. OLED, no. So I guess things haven't really gone too crazy. I mean, it's only the opening of Breath of the Wild. It's not crazy difficult. I just wanted to, you know, talk about Zelda a little bit. Talk about the Switch. You know, what I'd like to see in the next one. You know, and just kind of get back into it. We're only a few months away from Tears of the Kingdom. You know, I just wanna get back into the world a little bit. You know, make a little YouTube video, not really anything serious or crazy or, you know, going speed run out of my mind. I don't think I would ever speedrun Breath of the Wild. It's just... I don't really like the tricks. Where it's like... item menu physics... like manipulation. It's just... it's not really my bag of tricks that I enjoy. I like it when it's mostly like, hey... like you do it in the world. Little over 5 years. Yeah, for whatever reason, I swear it was like 10 years, but I think that was me mixing up. It's been 10 years since X Zelda game. Or since release. Which has been known to happen. Oh my gosh, you cannot. You cannot? Oh, I have to go from up there. I pressed the wrong button. I mean, we're going. I think it's just going to be over... it would be just over 6 years. Please. Do you really need to use the wind? Do I need to, like, claw grip this? Yeah, just claw grip. We're getting rid of something. You know, I would like to hope as well that they don't go crazy with the amiibo. Like, don't make amiibo specific armor, please. I don't want to buy any more amiibo. I have every Zelda amiibo except for... well, I mean the Smash Bros. One. I have Smash Bros. Link, but I don't have Zelda, Sheik, or Ganondorf. I don't have the Skyward Sword Zelda amiibo. And I don't want to buy them. I know they've shown, like, hey, if you use this amiibo, you get this pattern on your paraglider. I hope that's all that it is. And I hope they learned, because I know people were probably very upset that some armor sets were linked behind owning amiibo. Like, I had to amiibo hunt like crazy, and I never want to do that again. I don't want to buy it. I don't want to buy another one. I'm already gonna have to probably buy the Splatoon ones whenever the DLC comes out. I do have the Splatoon 3 ones. I haven't booted up Splatoon 3 since buying the amiibo, so. What a great investment. Who's still alive? Oh. Yeah, amiibo just... I don't think it'll stop, but they really just need to make it... like, not put, like, such huge things attached to... Not even, like, huge things. They're, like, little things. It's like this little outfit in Breath of the Wild. Buy this $15 amiibo. Like, what the hell? Why couldn't I just pay like $4 in the eShop? No. And, like, I'm pretty sure Nintendo knows people don't really want to buy them. So, like, here's the one amiibo for Tears of the Kingdom. And, like, if you use it, you know, you get a little special shield that'll break. Like, oh, okay. Well, I'm already spending, like, $90 on a game. So, you know, I can kind of argue putting another 10 on is not going to kill me. You know, I'm kind of nice like that. I do that at EB Games whenever I go and buy like a Switch game. They're like, that'll be $93. You want to add $3 to have this game protected for a year? And I'm like, yes, that's fine. Normally I'd say no. But I'm like, it's $3 and they're Switch games. And I'm already paying like almost $100. And, you know, obviously they're working retail and it helps them out. And it's not the biggest loss. You know, it's like when you buy something really expensive. It's like $400. Something on Amazon. Like, or like if you're buying like a new tablet. Like, if you're an artist and you're like, I'm going to buy a new Cintiq off Amazon. It's like $1,000. It's like for $10 extra, you can get express shipping and get this tomorrow. Or no shipping and wait like 2 weeks. Like, well, I'm already spending $1,000. So I'll just pay the extra 10 or 20. You might think like, oh, well, you're consumer sheeple. You're falling for the biggest trick in the book. I mean, I think like when you're paying for something expensive, I think like an extra few dollars does not, you are not breaking the bank on an extra few dollars if you're already breaking the bank. Like if I'm buying like a $10 thing on Amazon, I'm not going to pay $20 for express shipping. know, it's partly why I don't even pay for Amazon Prime. I don't even use it enough for me to probably get the value of shopping on it. And get like the free 2-day shipping. Because I typically I don't spend a lot of money. And right now I am definitely not spending a lot of money because we are investing in ourselves to get streaming working. To become financially stable with content creation. Which I know is a omni-level huge risk. But I've talked about this. I'm never going back to retail. I'm never going back to fast food. I'm never going back to customer service. So that's a that's a can of worms that we're not going to be opening. And I've obviously worked full time for a long time. I've got plenty saved up, so we're good for a long time. And with me putting in even more effort and time into content, we can only go up. Are you for real? I mean, I've probably missed a Korok somewhere, but again, I don't know where they all are. Yeah, that seems to be what people like to do. I've done all the shrines, not done all the Koroks. And I did talk about that earlier, that I like that I'll never 100% Breath of the Wild. Because that means I'll always find something new. Like, there'll always be a Korok that I've never seen before. Well, not always, but I don't think I'll play Breath of the Wild enough to fully see them all and collect them all. And even if I did, I don't even know if I'd retain that information. There's 700 of them. And I think they were specifically, like, spread out and, like, so plentiful that you were not supposed to just seek all of them out. You can if you want. Like, the game is fun enough to play. Just to search around and look. They've put in tools to make it easier. You know, they're just kind of, they're just strategically placed, so as you're playing, you just come across them. And I think around sort of the 300 or so mark, maybe like 400-ish, I don't even think you get like even more like inventory slots. I think it kind of caps. It soft caps until you have everything, and then you just get the final big seed. No, I mean if you didn't get you didn't get all the seeds, you're definitely not 100%. But I think if you did all the shrines, I think that's good enough. Not 100%, but it's good enough. And the reward is nice too. It's not like crazy, but you know, it's a nice little send off. But it is weird. Since like Breath of the Wild's come out, Link's been associated with blue. And maybe they just wanted to like make it seem like, hey, this is a different kind of Zelda. Which it is. With Tears of the Kingdom, it looks like they are pushing it more back to green, but not so much like the traditional tunic. So I like that. I mean, I don't have a problem with the blue. But it's a little weird. It's a little weird. And no hat. And I don't even think they let you dye the champion's tunic. Which again, I don't even know if I'm gonna get that. That kind of requires a little bit of running around the world. And this is just a casual, normal, do what you can, and then we're done playthrough. I know you can dye the Tunic of the Wild, which is the green Link outfit you get for all the shrines. So maybe you've just kind of associated that with an amiibo costume, which are the ones with like the Link looks with the hat, with the green tunic. So maybe you saw it and you're like, oh, what the heck? That guy's dyed his Ocarina of Time outfit to red, and he's got the Goron tunic. But it was just the Tunic of the Wild. That's what I did. That's what I did. I like red Link. I like the Goron tunic. Oh, yeah, I think this is when we get the shrine scan. And I have to ask myself, do I want to do the best shrine in the game in this playthrough? And when I say best shrine in the game, I think a lot of people are going to think the same one. For me, the best shrine in the game is Eventide Island. I think there's only a couple other shrines that could maybe compare to being that good. But that's the one that sticks out to me. Alright, so I do want to do the shrine here. This is one specifically that I want to get. And this might be the one piece of equipment we're wearing through the entire game. Oh, I know what the worst shrine is. It's like the golf shrine. The ones with like the physics, man. Sometimes the physics ones are just a nightmare. And it's not that the physics like that makes it bad. I think it's just you have to stasis and then it's on cooldown and then your weapons start breaking and then it's at least they should have provided like a shrine specific like weapon that doesn't break. And I guess that kind of goes back to like me wanting the dungeons to maybe be more this is in the sequel I'm talking about. To just be more like mechanically specific. Or have something of note instead of just move this part, move the trunk, turn the little camel hump or whatever that one does. You know, a little bit more Link actually doing and less something in a menu. Oh, that was weird. Brother. Can we get a par? Nope, we're getting a double bogey. Triple bogey. Okay, I should just use the lines on the platform. Okay. And I think you want to... You either stasis this or you drop this. Does that work? No. Okay. Which Divine Beast is the hardest? It's probably... It's got to be the camel. The camel's got to be the hardest one. And the game kind of veers in that sort of counterclockwise motion where you go to the Zora, and then you go to the Goron, and then you go to the Rito, and then you go to the Gerudo. And I mentioned that it kind of veers you that way. Oh, you're supposed to you're supposed to use those barrels. Whatever. Also, get my Club Nintendo shirt back on. So I hope they kind of steer it in the sequel. Again, I'm talking in Tears of the Kingdom. I would like them to sort of veer you in a direction, kind of forcefully, but you get to choose. You know, and rather than like heavily suggest, yes, you should do this. No, you can't do this because you can't make food that cools you down enough, or no, you can't go here because you're not warm enough. You know, more so like you now have this ability, or you can have this resource and you can put it into this ability that will get you to this area. And then you can kind of explore that area freely until you get, you know, another chunk of game done. That's what my hope is. And that's more in the sense to make it feel a little bit more like traditional Zelda, rather than have everything be open and kind of keep everything as. This could be your first time here, so it's all kind of relatively the same across the board, because you could get here at any time. So I think this place is gonna just ping shrines like crazy, because there's 3 more on this same mountain. Or at least 2 more. But again, that's just me, like, game designer talk. I did talk about it earlier. And I'm just talking as a guy who likes games. I'm not talking as like, does it work for the game? Does it work for the idea they want? I'm just kind of, based on Breath of the Wild, the things that I miss is kind of what I would like to see. Mr. Beetle.
Hi. Ah. Oh. Ah. Oh. Hey. Hmm. Ah.
Also, like, putting, like, Epona, the best horse, behind an amiibo. Kind of annoying.
Oh. Ah. Ah.
But that didn't make a quest. They just kind of pointed you in the right direction. Okay, that was... Oh. I'm like, did I talk to her? She just did not want you to take the apples. Or she's saying that horses like apples, and you can have them eat the horses out of you. Eat the horses! The horses can eat the apples. But I think you either glide from up here to get there, or you jump off the horse that you can snag from over here. And I think their stats are based on like how spotted they are. I think the like more solid color they are, the better they are. So either want the brown or the blue one. That's L. I do not have stamina food. We're getting thrown off. Let's try apple strat. I'm pretty sure this works. Oh, but you can't be crouching. Let's sneak up. Eat the apples, please. Okay, it doesn't work. My brain remembered something about apples, but... maybe my brain is an apple. My apple's an apple. I'll see, like... This one you didn't even have to really fight. I think maybe the apples just make the horse like you faster once they're tamed. Okay, that's not how it works. You probably have to... Wait, did I just like... Wrong button? Can I just do this? Oh, this one I think is pretty simple. The cryo was something that I didn't use too much in my first couple playthroughs. I just didn't see it as like being crazy useful, but I don't think I just realized how much like water there is like in the game. Okay, not quite. Not quite. Just a touch more? Just gotta go like just a smidge over, man. Thank you. Forgot. I forgot. There you go. Easy peasy. I'm gonna try and get that chest though. think you have to make some steps. Like a pseudo ladder. Hey, Ika. Morning. Hope you're doing all right. Just looking to wrap up a bit of Breath of the Wild here. And I've decided that I am not going to swap to Wario Land yet. We're going to keep Pizza Tower on until we are perfect. So we're going to try and perfect another level today in Pizza Tower. Yeah, we've talked a lot of Zelda. Talked a lot of Switch. I mean, it's just I think like the Pizza Tower videos still do kind of all right on YouTube. So I can't truly cut it out yet until they might do like 0. Cuz like we might like it feels weird. It feels weird that like we're so like number is low across the board. But some videos on YouTube do better than like videos than people with like thousands. So like we're on the track of doing something right. And definitely I want to keep the highlights going. I think Breath of the Wild is kind of in a spot where people are maybe looking at it, but it's still a little niche. And definitely I think closer to May, it's going to ramp up. So I think now is maybe a good time to play it. I was thinking about it. And you said it, and it felt right. Can I? Oh, I was mashing, and I just mistimed my click. Art, I'm a little more concerned about, because that's unfortunately a long-term thing as well. And I can only do so much. What is going on? The horse is just permanently scared here. Turn around. I'm just legging it. This is Shadowfax. No, Shadowfax was a white horse. The Lord of all horses. Dude, shout out to Lord of the Rings, man. I love Lord of the Rings. Don't I have to talk to the other guy? Goodbye. Oh, it's being a little finicky. Gimme, please. All right, that 50 rubies. Rupees, sorry, not rubies. First one.
Oh.
I mean, unfortunately, horses kind of
Ah.
uh
Ah.
you know, they kind of lose
Hey.
their ability to be used after a certain point, i.e. the DLC dungeon.
Oh.
And I didn't ever find myself using a horse too much. Like, anyway. And we're kind of on our way to Kakariko. I said we'd make it there today. I think we can go a little bit longer. Yeah, you have to, like, soothe them and, like, build your bond. And, like, there's really... I don't know. It just wasn't really worth it. And, like, when gliding around is so fun, you know, climbing and gliding, like, you really did not use your horse for much. Also, like, he's fighting me. What? No Korok? Yeah, something about just running around in Breath of the Wild, it was just the way to do it. Like, a horse. Yeah, it's faster, but it was not more fun? And maybe that's why, you know, they're going more of a vehicle route. In Tears of the Kingdom, I had to stop myself from saying Breath of the Wild too. Why? Because it has a name now. I have to say Tears of the Kingdom. YouTube video, YouTube video. Tears of the Kingdom. YouTube algorithm. I'm saying Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, maybe the bike was a test. I've never called Majora's Mask Ocarina of Time 2. Okay, we're gonna be food spamming maybe a little. That was the wrong button. I don't know. I've been pretty good with game titles. I usually don't, like, not call the game what it is. Except with Breath of the Wild 2. I can't stop thinking about just calling it Breath of the Wild 2. And I know why. I know why I'm like that. It's because they announced it and then like didn't reveal a name until like 6 months ago. Like 8 months before it was supposed to come out. Like that's all we had. And I'm not gonna say the next Legend of Zelda. Yeah, I don't know. I think, I just can't stop thinking about, like, the next Switch. I don't think we'll see anything about it this year. Or at least we won't see anything about it until after Pikmin 4. All right, I think we can use him, I think 3 times. Okay, so we only got to use it twice. That's fine. I'm trying to back up. Horse is stuck. He's unstuck. Case in point, it's more convenient to walk. But you know what? Eventually we'll get a car. And I really hope Nintendo knows what they're doing. Like that trailer, I mean, it didn't show anything, but just the way the vehicles looked and that vehicle customization is theorized or rumored has me a little concerned. You know, we are entering nuts and bolts levels of a game. Yeah, just keep it traversal. Don't overstay your welcome. One does not have arrows. Does not have arrows. I mean, I said we'd get to at least Kakariko Village. So I think this is a good stopping point. I just want to get somewhere where the little radar isn't bleeping. So yeah, we'll call Breath of the Wild here for today. I mean, 2 hours is not a lot of time to be playing Breath of the Wild. But, you know, I don't think we're going to be playing this for too long. You know, it might be a couple weeks. And we might double up after Pizza Tower if we finish that soon. We'll see. And I don't know, longer streams. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, there's gonna be more Breath of the Wild. It's gonna be daily until we beat it. It is the new playthrough. If you're watching on YouTube, there's links for Twitch, Twitter, all that, in the description. And yeah, I'll just be playing Breath of the Wild. Probably talk more about Zelda, more about Breath of the Wild. Until we wrap it up. Probably not gonna play too much, like, off stream. Yeah, we're gonna swap to Pizza Tower. And yeah, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna take a quick break, probably make a coffee. And we'll just try and perfect another level. We might do it, might get close.